I welcome you all in. My name is SparksOpus. Most of my videos are related to Nintendo games and Xenoblade specifically, and as you can imagine, I'm quite excited for the Switch 2, obviously, unlike most people. Coming from a system that played a lot of games not even in native 1080p resolution, and oftentimes unstable 30 frames, receiving a system that can play games in up to 4K 60 or 1080p with 120 frames is surely a dream come true for a lot of Nintendo fans, me included. And I also think that most of us can agree that the newest Direct was an absolute banger in every way possible. The Switch 2 looks like it's going to be the greatest system ever made. But there is something that Nintendo messed up big time, and is something I find very tiresome as a consumer. A lack of communication, and certainly in some form a very dishonest way of Nintendo communicating with us. Maybe I should go one step back though. Why did I even choose this title? Ever since I was able to buy my own stuff and look into prices for various tech pricings, I noticed something. Every time when things come to technology, it always seems to be more expensive in Europe, even though the euro is also more valuable than the US dollar. But the worst part is how inconsistent those prices are, and this is also ruining things oftentimes. For example, Intel released their newest GPU, Intel Arc Battlemage cards. The B580 for $250, trying to compete with Nvidia's 4060 cards, which costs $330. Sounds good, right? I thought about buying it myself, as a second card for AV1 encoding. But what did the European market say? 330 euro, which is $361, which is almost a 50% increase. Ah, fantastic stuff. Breath of the Wild was the first game to push the prices of Nintendo games to 70 euro. And there are a few other titles that push the 70 euro price tag, including Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Tears of the Kingdom. All things considered though, it was still pretty rare. The Switch costed 330 euro, which is slightly more than the $300 on release. And after a while, the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series raised the prices of some high-profile games to 80 euro, like a God of War Ragnarok or a Microsoft Flight Simulator, which is crossing the line for me personally, but those games cost a lot. To produce, I mean. God of War Ragnarok costing 200 million, for example. I hear some people say, well, is it our fault for them spending so much money on games? No, I'm just stating facts here. It is estimated that Breath of the Wild has costed $100 million. And this is probably one of those series that put the most amount of money in. It is no secret that Nintendo tries to develop things way cheaper than its competition. So 70 euro was quite rare. So me and most people expected that 70 euro will be the new norm from now on. But boy, after the Direct ended and after I looked at the prices of Mario Kart World, I saw the price of 90 euro. How? Why? That is almost $100. Honestly, I think the system price is fine. Also from $450 to 470 euro, this is fine. The hardware seems pretty capable to me. I'm fine to pay the price for a system I'll be playing for multiple years to come. What I'm not fine with is the ridiculous increase in price. And you know what? I feel like history is repeating itself here. And I also think that part of the reason is that Iwata and Reggie are no longer part of Nintendo. Why do I have to pay for a tech demo? I look over at Sony and they received a pretty neat 3D platformer that showed off the PlayStation 5's capabilities. For free, pre-installed. I just bought your system. Can't we have even those little nice things for once? You made Switch 2 versions of Switch 1 games and made additions to those games with bonus content. And you want, I don't know, 10 euro for it. Okay, sure. Sounds good to me, I don't know. But why am I supposed to pay for a simple up-res and a higher frame rate? That should be for free. I bought that system after all. Why can't this be a nice bonus for buying the system? That doesn't make any sense to me. Don't get me started on the €90 Pro controller, which is just a regular Pro controller with 3 more buttons and a headphone jack. Not even finally including analog triggers, like Y. And also, why a camera for €60 with mediocre quality? Man, in scenarios like those, I do hope for another Wii U situation. I feel like companies need to be humble from time to time. Personally speaking, I'm not buying Mario Kart for €90. I also don't plan to get it for the bundle. I want this game physically after all. But why Nintendo? Why is it so hard to say the price? Like the price is straight into our face. Why is it so hard to be just honest about it? Why is the jump so high? Is it because of those next-gen cartridges that were already quite expensive? Then say it. Also, shout out to my American viewers. I'm not jealous at all, dude. Things look pretty grim from outside. I hope that things may look brighter for you sooner or later when it comes to those tariffs. You know, it wouldn't be so bad if I and a lot of other people would just get paid more. Everything is getting more expensive, even things that shouldn't be more expensive, yet we get paid the same amount of money essentially. As a matter of fact, we have less of our money now. As someone who is part of Gen Z, I feel just trolled by life, to be honest. Most of the people in my age don't do exactly well. People even slightly older than me that still live with their parents because housings and everything is just way too expensive. Can't find a job because everyone wants people, I almost want to say slaves, with 15 years of experience for minimal wage. I faced that same issue already many years ago. And boy, I was working my butt off to get to the position I am now. And also try to do YouTube in parallel. I'm financially pretty stable right now, relatively speaking. Can't say the same thing about my mental health, but I assume most people in my age know how it is. Just the usual stuff nowadays. But seeing how even video games, my biggest hobby ever since I was a kid, is getting this much more expensive from a company that used to aim for being accessible for families and their kids, this is no longer true. Honestly, I'm just sad. Once a company becomes very successful, they just become greedy. You know what the worst part is, though? People will probably still buy those games anyways, for full price. People buy stuff from scalpers all the time, so why be surprised? The Switch 2 looks really cool. The game looks really cool, but the prices for these games are just not it, man. My biggest issue is just Nintendo not being transparent whatsoever. Maybe I'll get lucky and I'll find Mario Kart for €70 or maybe less, I don't know. Physically, that is. But until then? I don't know, man. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. I read them all, always. Sometimes I probably shouldn't do that, but I care about the people that watch my videos I create, so I like to go through them. Don't forget to like or dislike, and I thank you all very much for watching. And I hope you have a very good one. Goodbye, folks. See you guys later.